There you go. It's already past us there, and it's just starting to come in. You can see the wind build up right there.
The sky darkened in Phoenix, Arizona. What seemed like an ordinary summer evening quickly turned into a scene out of a disaster film. People looked up, and what they saw sent chills down their spines. A towering wall of dust stretching across the horizon, swallowing the light and moving forward with terrifying speed. Yes, folks, the United States has been in a serious battle since the very start of this year. We've seen wildfires raging, floods sweeping away homes, tornadoes tearing through towns, and now this, a massive dust storm, so large and powerful that people could not believe their eyes. It wasn't just a natural storm. It looked and felt like something much greater, something that carried a warning within it. The fear on the ground. In southwest Phoenix, thousands of people scrambled for safety. Some grabbed their phones, recording the massive cloud approaching. Others rushed their children inside, locked their doors and shut their windows, praying the storm would pass without too much damage. You could hear the fear in their voices as they gasped, "What is happening to us? Why is this storm so big?" Cars that were still on the highways had to pull over as visibility dropped from miles to just a few feet. Streetlights flickered as the wall of dust blocked out the sun. Airplanes were grounded. Local businesses closed. The entire city seemed to hold its breath as nature unleashed its fury. But here's the concerning part. This is not slowing down. Instead, experts say these storms are intensifying. Meteorologists have confirmed this particular dust storm was a haboob, a rare but powerful storm that can bring walls of dust several stories high. Imagine standing in front of a skyscraper made not of concrete, but of dust, wind and sand barreling toward you like a monster wave. This wasn't just dust blowing in the air. It was a living wall of earth, roaring across the land, tearing through everything in its path. What exactly is a haboob? To understand the scale of this storm, you need to know what a haboob really is. The word comes from Arabic, meaning to blow. These storms form when powerful winds rush down from thunderstorms, hitting the ground and scooping up dust, sand, and dirt into the sky. Within minutes, the landscape changes. Daylight turns into twilight. The air becomes thick and choking. And the sound? Witnesses describe it as a thunderous roar, like a freight train barreling through the desert. In places like the Sahara Desert, haboobs are more common, but here in America, in Phoenix, Arizona, they're rare and frightening. The last few years, however, have seen them becoming more frequent. And the question is, why? Why is America experiencing this? America is supposed to be strong, advanced, and well prepared. And yet, this year alone, we've seen disaster after disaster. Floods in the Midwest, wildfires in California, tornadoes in Texas, hurricanes on the Gulf Coast, and now these massive dust storms in Arizona. Why is the strongest nation in the world suddenly so vulnerable to natural disasters? Some scientists point to climate change. Others say it's part of shifting global weather cycles. And while science explains part of it, there's also a deeper question we cannot ignore. Could this be more than just climate patterns? Could it be spiritual? A biblical perspective? Friends, the Bible has warned us of days like this. In Luke 21:25-26 it says, "There will be signs in the sun, moon and stars. On the earth nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the sea. People will faint from terror, apprehensive of what is coming on the world." Doesn't that sound exactly like what we are witnessing? Storms are not just accidents of nature. They can be warnings, wake-up calls, signs that the world is entering a new season of shaking where everything unstable will be exposed. Think about it. When the Israelites turned away from God, natural calamities often followed as a way to bring their hearts back to Him. Could it be that what we are experiencing in America now is a call to wake up spiritually, to recognize that we are not in control and that we desperately need to turn back to God? The storm as a mirror of society. Let's not forget, the storm outside often reflects the storm inside. our nation is divided, our families are fractured, our values are shaken, and our faith is being tested. Just as the dust storm blocked out the sun and covered the city, so too does confusion, fear, and chaos seem to cover our society today. It's not just Phoenix that's in trouble. Reports are already coming in of unusual weather patterns in other states. Flash floods are threatening Nevada. Extreme heat waves are hitting Texas. Strong winds are damaging homes in Oklahoma. It's as if the entire land is trembling. Nature is groaning, reflecting the turmoil we see in our world. Imagine yourself in that storm. Now, I want you to imagine yourself driving home from work. You're tired, you're just thinking about dinner and rest. Suddenly, you notice the sky turning brown. Within minutes, a towering wall of dust hundreds of feet high covers the entire horizon. It moves toward you, fast. You grip your steering wheel, your heart pounding. Your phone loses signal. The air smells of dirt and dryness. And in that moment, you realize you are completely powerless. That's exactly what thousands in Arizona experienced. And that's what many around the world are starting to feel. Powerless in the face of a world shaking on every side. Lessons from the storm. So what do? How do we live in times like this? Stay awake spiritually. These storms remind us that life is fragile. Tomorrow is not promised. We must keep our hearts right with God. Prepare wisely, not just spiritually, but practically. Families need plans, communities need unity, and individuals need awareness. Seek God's protection. Psalm 91 reminds us, "He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." God promises His protection for those who put their trust in Him. Share hope. In a time of fear, we must be voices of hope. Instead of spreading panic, we can remind people that even in the storm, God is in control. America at a crossroads. This storm is not just about Arizona, it's about all of us. The United States stands at a crossroads. Will we continue ignoring the signs, living as though nothing is wrong? Or will we humble ourselves, pray, and seek God's mercy over our land? Every storm, every quake, every fire is like a knock on the door of our hearts. How many more knocks will it take before we finally open the door to God? A wake-up call for the world. And let's not forget, it's not just America. Across the globe, nations are experiencing disasters of every kind. Earthquakes in Turkey, floods in Pakistan, wildfires in Greece, storms in Africa. The whole earth seems to be shaking. Jesus said in Matthew 24:7, "Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom." There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are the beginning of birth pains. What we see today is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. It's the beginning of birth pains leading to the return of Christ. The choice is ours. So folks, what does this mean for you and me? It means we cannot afford to live in ignorance. We cannot dismiss these storms as coincidences. They are messages. They are opportunities for us to get our lives right, to strengthen our faith, and to cling to the hope that only God gives. This dust storm in Phoenix is just one chapter in a much larger story. But the question remains, how many more storms will it take before we listen? Will it be the next hurricane, the next wildfire, the next earthquake? Or will we finally awaken today, realizing that the time is short and the call is urgent? Friends, the storm is here, and more are coming. But let us not fear, for even in the darkest storm, the light of God's presence shines. Even when the dust blocks the Son of God is still watching over us. Stay awake, stay prepared, and above all, stay close to God. Because what we just witnessed in Phoenix might only be the beginning. God bless you all.